Hey everyone, it's Matt here, and today we're talking about what Xbox free play days are and if you should try them. So if you're like me, you recently heard about this on Twitter. I'm actually a somewhat new Xbox One owner. I got one back maybe about a year and a half ago at this point. So when I heard about Xbox One free play days, I thought, okay, is this like Sony's Day of Play, where they end up giving you basically just straight up free games, no strings attached. You don't need anything, just all you need is the ability to download games, and you can download these games. Well, not exactly. So when it comes to these games, thankfully these are weekly games, which is pretty cool. A fun variety of games every week. You can see right here these lists of games as they go on, and I have to say, looking at some of these, I kind of wish I knew about this sooner, because some of these games actually look like a lot of fun. But although it is a little strange that Naruto, actually the same game, is actually with the latest one, and also back in October that they are these same games. So that's a little concerning because of the fact that these aren't just free games, no strings attached. These aren't, oh, just download them for a few days. What you have to do is you have to be an Xbox Live Gold member, and you only get them from Thursday nights to Sunday nights, basically into Monday morning. So it's a little hard finding this information, at least directly on Twitter, because basically they're assuming that you know literally just what's going on here. Now I know the latest one was this Naruto game right here and a few other games, but I actually ended up finding it with the Valkyria Chronicles 4 and the For Honor games, so that's what I'll be talking about in this video here. So Valkyria Chronicles 4, again, no strings attached other than Xbox Live Gold. Downloaded it for free. You don't get any of the DLC, but you can also play multiplayer with friends. And by the way, if you don't want any of these games and none of these interest you whatsoever, for these weekends, you actually can play online with your free-to-play games for free. So that is pretty cool, but not really something that concerns me personally, not really a big online multiplayer kind of person. So when it comes to these games in particular, like I said before, you get them from Thursdays all the way to Sundays. Was unsure of that. I thought it was actually Fridays, but no, they give you that extra day, which is really nice. But if you don't complete the game by then, you do have to buy it for potentially full price. There are some discounts if you are an Xbox Live Gold member, which is pretty cool, but still you have to buy the game either way if you can't beat it. Now, my problem with some of these games is, even just looking at Valkyria Chronicles 4 as you see me playing it, my problem here is that most of these games, and some heavy hitters here, looking at Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, really heavy hitters, I would argue, but if you're not familiar with other games in the franchise, then you're not really going to be jumping on this game. So then is it really worth it if you're not an Xbox Live Gold member and you want to just get that gold just to check it out? Well, just want to mention that Xbox Live Gold is also included with Xbox Game Pass. So even if all of this interests you right off the bat, you don't even need to hear me say anything else, you're like, no, Matt, I want to do this, just be wary. You can also just get Xbox Game Pass for $15 a month, the base $15 a month, or and start off free trial for $1, and end up actually getting Xbox Live Gold with that. So you can get these games technically automatically for every weekend as the weekends go on. I don't know what future games there are. I haven't seen any lists leak or come up, so really it just comes up as they come up. So it's one of those things where, you know, as someone who recently got on the Xbox Game Pass, I do think it's worth it just for that alone, but it's not something that you should just jump into Live Gold exclusively for if you wanted to. But when it comes to Valkyria Chronicles 4, personally, while playing it, never played a game of the series, wasn't really the biggest fan, a lot of cutscenes, very cutscene heavy. And the gaming is just, at least at this point, really isn't for me. I do like real-time strategy games, but this real-time strategy anime war style game really isn't for me. But I do want to go back and play the first one, which thankfully I do have on the PS4. You can probably check that out. Maybe one day I'll come back to this. I'll see if they end up adding the series onto Game Pass or something like that. But at the very least, though, no extra cost to me. Just ended up playing it for about maybe 30 minutes to an hour, and I thought, you know, it's okay. However, For Honor is where things get a bit more complicated. So I was trying to play it, and it said that I needed an Ubisoft account. I did not want to make one. I was not going to make one. They weren't going to break me. So basically, I ended up not playing that game. Could have been the best game of my life, but I did not want to, on a free game that I was getting through free play days, end up making an Ubisoft account. So that is something you might run into if certain games want you to create accounts, log into servers, things like that, because some of these games are going to be multiplayer extensive and exclusive, just to kind of build off the fact that yes, they're also doing, like I mentioned before, free play days for free online multiplayer games. So didn't get the chance to play For Honor. When it comes to Valkyria Chronicles 4, I personally, this might seem like sacrilege, and I'm sorry, but for me, not really the best showcase. But just looking at, down the list at all these different games, I would argue that even with some of them that are, just sequels only, they're definitely worth it. But again, not for Xbox Live Gold alone. So if you're getting into this, you want to end up playing it, like I said before, definitely just get Game Pass. And Game Pass might seem like a bit of a commitment, but you can cancel anytime. So it's $15 a month, but if you beat a game or two that's worth the same amount, I would argue that's worth it, and especially with these games as well, getting that little tasty taste. You can then just purchase it digitally or even just physically as well. It's not as if the digital saves are exclusive to the digital copies. So you want to go find them used, you can also do that as well. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section down below, and I'd love to answer them. So, love you all, take care, and see you.